personal opinion, and this may be unfair to certain influencers or public figures or athletes and their coaches, but my personal opinion, for whatever that is worth, is that the vast majority of elite athletes, extremely well-developed bodybuilders, the influencers who you look at them and your eyes just pop out of your heads, people with phenomenal development where it just appears to be unreal. My personal opinion is that that is due to drug use, and or it is due to some of the modern supplements that essentially are drugs that metabolize into drugs when taken. And I think that drug use is so ubiquitous in sport that most people know that, accept it, and don't really care about it. So there are controversies back and forth. Does so and so use drugs? Can you achieve such and so with or without drugs? That's just internet fodder for people to do blog posts and get likes and looks and hits and controversy and so on. The more people argue about that sort of thing, the more the media machine just bounces up and down. What I do is ignore, again, this is my personal preference, my personal choice. I ignore all of the modern stuff. I don't pay attention to modern media figures, influencers. I don't read modern magazines. I don't read modern books. I don't look at the blogs. I just don't pay attention to it. If you asked me who won the Mr. Olympia contest this past year, if there was one, I assume there was, but I don't know. I don't know. I literally do not care. And I don't follow Olympic weightlifting. I don't follow powerlifting. I don't follow any sports. Strange as that seems, because sports were such a major part of my life when I was younger, and I was a very good competitive athlete. I just don't follow that because of the drugs, along with all the other commercialization. I mean, sport is extremely politicized, commercialized. It's a money machine, and I'm just not interested in that. I don't care. What I care about, and this is a long ways of getting to I think the important message for the listeners and the viewers, what I care about is my own training. I care about getting up every day, throwing on my sweats, bundling up, going out to the beach, lifting a heavy log and carrying it for 2 miles. That's important to me. I don't care what anyone else is doing. They can do other stuff, and that's wonderful. They can take whatever, they can sell whatever, they can promote whatever. Makes no difference to me. And that's, I think, the most important mindset, and it's perhaps the most important message of all of my books and courses. I mean, the basic theme is do it yourself. Do it for yourself. There's a chapter in Strength, Muscle, and Power, barbell, basement, lifter. And that's kind of the focus of my message. You can train at a gym, but even if you do, you train by yourself for yourself. You can train at home by yourself for yourself. You can train outside the way I do now, by yourself for yourself. That's the important thing about physical training. And physical training is a journey of self-improvement. You do that by challenging yourself, by saying, I can do this. I want to be able to do this. How do I get from here to here? Having trouble with the camera here. How do I get from here to here? Okay. And, you focus on that, and the other stuff just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It will not make me stronger if I pay attention to influencer A or B or C. If I, there are people who know a particular sport inside out. They know all the statistics for professional baseball players, batting averages, earned run averages, everything. I assume the same is true in soccer.
Oh,
Okay.
God, yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, do you know people who know all those stats? They have all that information in their head. They're walking encyclopedias, but they can't play the sport.
Yeah.
Or they don't play the sport. You have fantasy football leagues, which is sort of the definition of not playing the sport. You're having fun, you're engaging, it's a fine thing to do. A lot of people love doing it, but it's not the physical training. And I've always focused on the physical training, physical culture. The word physical is really important because it means you are doing things. You're not watching other people do things. You guys are what, 8 hours behind me?
8 hours ahead of you.
Okay, so you've probably, I don't know if you've been training people or not, but you may have had like 4 workouts today, 5 workouts, 6. All 3, I'm assuming, have gotten your workout in today.
Absolutely.
If you haven't, you're going to do it right after the podcast. I'm going to work out in 3 hours. That's what the focus is. The focus is on working out. And for older listeners, make a jump, because I know that a lot of your listeners, viewers, are, say, what, 40 and up?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the critical thing at that age is not to focus on what 20-year-old elite athletes do. That doesn't make any difference for you. What you need to do is to focus on what works best for you at age 40, 50, 60, things that you can actually do and survive without breaking your body apart, which is all too easy to do as you get older. Okay. You need to focus on regular common sense training that you can do on a consistent basis. And you need to focus on doing the things that will make you stronger, healthier, more robust. Ask me about my reader who wrote in about his PSA scores.
Tell us about your reader who wrote in about their PSA scores.
I got an email the other day from a guy in his mid-60s who had blood work done, and his PSA score dropped by, for people who don't know, that's related to prostate health, which men in their 60s and 70s tend to pay attention to, right? So his PSA score, you want a lower score, his PSA score dropped by like a third. And the only change in his life, it wasn't drugs, it wasn't medicine, it wasn't diet. He started to do 2 exercises religiously, very hard, every 3 days. One of them was kettlebell swings. The other one was hip belt squats. That was it. 3 months later, boom,